Hello and welcome to LFC Focus. Liverpool drew 2-2 with Sunderland on Monday afternoon, which means depending on the result in Chelsea versus Spurs, they could end this match day 20 8 points off the top of the Premier League table. So let's pick the bones out of the result on Monday afternoon. So it's not the result, obviously, that we all wanted, especially after the brilliant result that Liverpool got against Manchester City. And the obvious excuse that everybody was throwing around afterwards was tiredness, which is fairly obvious given the fact that it kicked off only less than 44 hours after Liverpool finished their game against Manchester City. Obviously, you've then got the counter argument to this, that Sunderland have only had about 2 hours more rest than we had. So in theory, it shouldn't be that much of a problem. I think really what counted was the fact that the game we played was against Man City, and it took Liverpool to put everything into that match for the whole 90 minutes, as I said in the post-match reaction video to it, to actually secure the result. And it was noticeable in this game. Players like Milner, who'd had such a brilliant game against Man City in defence, just looked completely off the pace against Sunderland, and he was withdrawn at half-time. I think the mistake really comes down to Jurgen Klopp, and I don't like to criticise the manager because at the end of the day, he does his job better than I would do his job, and he just knows more about football management than I do. But I think the decision he made that came out after the game to give the players the decision of whether they wanted to play the game or not was a bit of an odd move, given that I think personally I would question the players' desire if they said that they didn't want to play, because even if they do know that maybe they're not at full fitness, they should want to play for Liverpool and they should want to be in that side constantly. The last thing they really want to do is offer their place up to someone else and potentially risk losing it in the long term. So I think the ideal thing would be to have maybe left that decision down to the sports scientists, but maybe Jurgen Klopp just saw that as the right choice, and maybe if he had brought in these other players, these youngsters, they could have got a similar or even worse result. We just don't know. At the end of the day, Liverpool didn't lose, and that's the main thing. As always, there are positives aside from just not losing to take away from this result. Liverpool still are in second place, no matter what the results are this weekend. They could actually make up ground on Chelsea. Obviously, we'd rather they got the 3 points and that they moved within closer of Chelsea. But depending on the result they get against Tottenham, we could still find ourselves 5 points off the top. Obviously, if Chelsea win, we're 8 points off the top. But you just never know with these things. And I'm pretty sure if we had this points total last season, at this stage of the season, we'd be top of the league. It's just that Chelsea are setting the bar so high this season, and we can't really be too aggrieved if Liverpool don't win the title this season, because Chelsea have been so good. What's important is that Liverpool take this season as a springboard for the future, and that they carry on playing like this. Second or third would be an immense way to end the season, and going into next season it would give them a lot of confidence to maybe take part in yet another title race. In other news, we've also got Felipe Coutinho coming back, which is good timing really, because we're about to lose Mane. Well, we have now lost Mane to AFCON. I don't think he's going to play against Newport. He'll probably play against Southampton. But there is still good news going around. Daniel Sturridge obviously had another good game. The players didn't necessarily have a bad game. Henderson was a massive loss in midfield. Just remembered that. I think, like I said, in the League Cup, we just haven't really been as good as we are with him, because he doesn't provide that protection because he provides that protection for the back four and the attacking threat that players like Emre Can aren't able to handle. It's that dual role that makes Henderson almost like having two players in midfield that other players just can't provide. So with Henderson coming back and with Coutinho coming back, things are looking very good for Liverpool going forward. So that's all for today's video. Obviously, it's not the result we wanted, but as Sam Jackson said on Twitter after the game, would you feel better if we just lost? And I think that's the right attitude for Liverpool fans to take into the rest of the season, because at the end of the day, there's 18 more games left and 54 more points left to play for. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here and you enjoyed it. Don't forget to follow at LFC Focus TV on Twitter as well. And I'll be back on Friday for the match build-up video for the game against Plymouth Argyle in the FA Cup. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.